Hey folks, I'm wearing this hat in remembrance of Phillis Diller, who was a comedian for many, many decades. Phillis Diller died at the age of 95, August 17, 2012, at her home in Los Angeles due to a fall. She was born 1917. She was a comedian for decades. I remember watching her in the Hollywood Squares. She used to be one of the regular people on the show that came on at, I believe, at 11 o'clock at night. She co-starred in 23 TV specials with Bob Hope. She also had her own popular TV show. Diller created a character with a bizarre wardrobe, a funny laugh, and a rubber face and jaded view of life. She was a loving mother and almost everything else. She referred to her husband as FANG, but made herself the primary target of her jokes. With endless appearance, she was Dr. Ruth for Halloween on The Tonight Show, October 31st, 1985, when I was in the 11th grade. Wow. One of her famous lines had her chasing down a garbage truck and asking the driver if she was too late. He said, "No, just jump on in." That was crazy. She was a comedian like Lucille Ball and Minnie Pearl, but she had her own autobiography like A Lampshade in a Whorehouse in 2005. She also played piano. She appeared for 3 months in Hello Dolly, that was played on Broadway in 1969 when I was 1 year old. Her voice was used in animated movies called Scooby-Doo and one of my favorite programs, A Bug's Life. I loved it so much I had to go out and get the video and play it all the time. As a matter of fact, back in 1997, you know how you fill out those little raffles and those little things where you see if you, a drawing I should say, and you see if you're going to win? Well, I put in my little name for the LA Times, and I won 4 tickets to Disneyland to see A Bug's Life at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then after we saw the movie, we were able to go to Disneyland. And by the way, that was the last time I've been there, in 1997. My son was 5 years old, and my daughter was 9. Now he's 19. Wow, how time has flied when children get older. Let's see. Born Phyllis Diller in Lima, Ohio. She was a housewife, mother, and an advertising copywriter in the 1940s, and didn't start performing until she was in her late 30s. Her first show was on radio KROW in Oakland, wow, where I went to California College of Arts and Crafts in 1986. Her first TV show was a 15-minute show called Phillis Diller, homely friend maker, funny, where they get that name from, I wonder. She started her own stand-up shows at the Purple Onion in 1955. Wow, isn't that funny? Because it sounds like a club we had on Wilshire Boulevard in the Wilshire district called the Red Onion. Eventually, she recorded 5 comedy albums. In the 90s, she got famous for having 15 plastic surgeries. Wow, and we thought Michael Jackson had a lot of surgeries, but 15? I don't know, maybe the first couple wasn't good enough, or maybe she had surgery on her nose, and then who knows, that's a lot of stuff. At the age of 55 was when she started having her 15 plastic surgeries. She was married to Sherwood Diller and had 6 children, and Ward Donovan. Both ended in divorce. And her husband Fang, they weren't nothing, he was nothing like the other 2 that she had divorced. Now, what was crazy was last night on the news, I was watching, I don't know if it was the news or if I was watching some special program that they were having for, she was having for herself at her house last night. And it's a trip how you watch something and it showed the husband on there, and the husband said that she wanted them to continue with the party even though she was in bed rest. So they having a party, all these people in the house. She can't even go to it because she's in a room staying in the bed. And then I wake up this morning and watch the news that she's passed away. And wow, that's sad. It's sad because you hear about all these people that pass away and you remember them when you were a kid, and they have all these different comedians that are going on now, like Chris Rock and Charlie Murphy, Chris Tucker, Chris Rock, all these new generations. But back in a long time ago, you heard Richard Pryor and a whole bunch of different people. Jack Black, rest in peace.